We're back with Spalding's Court Sports Podcast Show with myself, Wes Spalding, and my twin brother, Wyatt Spalding. Today, we are going to talk about and debate, for those who are against us, is tennis the most mentally demanding sport? Wyatt's got some real life experience to support our case here, and then I'll have my own little say about it. Tennis is more of an internal game than an external game. From what I know, I am a very new amateur to tennis. I'm not experienced like the rest of my family and all the other professionals and college athletes out there, but I do have experience in other sports. I played in a tennis tournament last summer uh, and have ambitions to get better at tennis this coming fall and winter after training for this race in September. I will say the one tournament that I played, the one singles tournament that I played by myself, it's so quiet on the court, but so loud in your mind. It's crazy. Things that I'm like, why am I even thinking about this right now? I should not be thinking about this. Or you just are second guessing everything. Obviously, I don't put in much work as you do, Wyatt. Um, and me and Wyatt have talked about this in the past. The five skills, the five characteristics it takes to be mentally tough, and I'm going to relate those back to tennis and some of the things that you've done, Wyatt, as your twin brother. Obviously we've observed each other when we're good at overcoming mental challenges and when we're bad about overcoming them. But I'm going to let Wyatt take off from here, and he's going to talk about the mental journey, the mental gruelingness of a tennis tournament that he played this past weekend. So Wyatt, go ahead, lead us off. Tell us about the tournament that you're in, and just kind of take it from there.
Yeah, so this past weekend, I played in the Cornhusker State Games. It's basically like is what it's called, state games. It's for all kinds of sports. Our dad played in the pickleball tournament of it the week before, and then next week was tennis. So I played in it. I've played in it ever since we were probably 20, 21, something like that. So, and like I play on and off. I played for 3 years in a row, took a year or two off. It just depends on summer.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 years ago, I won my division. I won the 3-0 singles. And I did not think I was going to win because every year, my goal every year was just to win one match, just win one. Because I literally just lose all of them every single year for probably 5, 6 years. I lost all my matches, and I would sign up. So for those who don't know, the lowest level, or there's lower, but in Nebraska, basically, lowest level is 3-0, which I play at. But you can also play at 3-5. 3-5, they're just more consistent. Probably can put more spin on the ball, stuff like that. So I'd play in the 3-0 and 3-5 singles because I would have the mindset of trying to win, but I was also realistic, and our dad was my coach, that I probably wasn't gonna win many matches. So it's like, well, I could pay $100 to play two matches, or $50 to play two matches, or I could pay $100 and get four matches. So I just was like, well, I'll just get four matches out of
Mm-hmm.
this. And for years I did that. And I doubles partner Haley, we would lose all the time. And then last year we won our very first match ever at the tournament, which we were pumped about. Of course, it was our last match. My doubles partner Haley and I have had so many matches where we were in it and we were either up or coming back and we just lost it at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And um, so we finally won a match, and then I won the singles. So that was 2 years ago. And then the next year, go to Colorado. We can get into that later. Played in a tournament with you instead. Well, this year I came back, played in that tournament, and it was a lot harder, way harder. It was really hard. And there were guys our age playing in it, which was awesome. Because the year I won it, not gonna lie, it was probably 15 over guys. And except for the guy playing the finals, he was this big, strong college baseball player. Nice guy. But he couldn't keep the ball in. So I was like, oh, I just have to keep the ball in. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't that hard. And compared to some of my other matches. And so I won that. But then this year, like I played this guy that I literally met this dude like on Monday, like randomly at a tennis court because he knew the guy I was playing. And then uh and then I ended up playing him in the corner state games. Super nice guy. And he beat me like 6-2, 6-1. But it was like one of the matches where we went to deuce all the time. I could just not finish. It was frustrating. And I wasn't like super mad. I just like I was tense. I have problems in the first match just being tense. And that's the thing too, is like that's what's hard about any sport, but especially tennis. Like you gotta loosen up. Like who cares? No one cares about like 3-0 tennis. But like I care because I'm playing in it and you want to
Hmm.
play good. And I just couldn't get a groove going. He brought me to the net a lot. I made a lot of mistakes to the net. And then that got my head like,
Like were
oh,
you hitting it in the net, hitting out, not
I was hitting
placing
it.
it?
I was hitting it like in the net. And then if I was hitting it over, I wasn't really placing it. I was just trying to get it over. Cause like my net game is good, but it's not great. Like it's not natural for me to want to come to the net. I'm 5'4". Like you want to stay back. And so, and at that point, like I was down in the match so much, I was just trying to like keep it in. We had some like really long rallies, and what this guy could do was he could cover the court. He was fast,
Hmm.
which is bad for me. I'm just like, oh shit. Like, damn it. And I was probably just tense and uh dad counted the last game, the very last game we played,
Hmm.
which I lost the set 6-1. We went into 8 deuces and we probably did that like over half the match. So like I was in the games because you can play a tennis match and it looks like that score, but if you look at the game score, like it was way closer than what you thought it was. What made me kind of feel good was I talked to some people and they were like, "Oh, like you only won 3 games. It seemed a lot closer than that. You guys' points seemed to go on forever, and they did. I just could not finish the points.
Talk about how talk about the frustration of, you lose 3-6 or 1-6, but most of the games go to deuce.
It's
Like
like
what
pretty.
is what's it like mentally?
It's like mentally, like you feel like you just suck, but it's like you're in this. You're just not doing the things to win the damn game. There was like 5 games, I think. I was up 40-15 and lost a game, and then like I was thinking about probably closing the game, or like he would just hit like I'd hit a good shot, he hit a great shot. Or like I'd hit a shot that I'd hit for a winner in most matches, but this guy was fast enough that he could just run it down.
Hmm.
And
So you're up
uh,
40-15. What would you have done differently now, looking back at it, mentally or
I
physically or
tried taking
strategically?
deep breaths, like in the second set, especially. I just
Yeah,
relax, like just you know, try to put it away. Like I should have just like gone, like try to place better at the net. Or like one thing I did better in the second set is I would come to the tee. That's like where the service box is.
yeah.
And then like once I hit it, I would back up to the baseline. So I did that, but also like just relaxing. Like the whole tournament, I could never really get it going. Even like I'll get into the match that I won, but even the match I won, it was just like I don't know. You just have tournaments like that. Like 2 years ago, like I had no expectations and I ended up playing really well and I won. This year, I I kind of felt the pressure that I wanted before, but also like I looked at the brackets, like oh well, this will be a lot harder, which is good. So I knew it would be hard to win, but I knew I could still win. So maybe I put a little more pressure on myself than I thought I did. Because you think you don't put pressure on yourself, but as you're playing, it's like, oh, you kind of did. Like, and so it's just frustrating. Like I used to get really mad, like extremely mad. It was over. And I was getting mad. Like I like not like actually throw my racket, but like in the air, like just punch the air with my racket, like damn it. Or like it was just kind of like you would do everything possible, it felt like, but you couldn't get it going. And like I wasn't really watching the ball. I was looking the way I should place it because he was
Mhm.
fast. So I was trying to like make him run, but like hit it away from him. but I wasn't. And then I got on the you can get on the defensive end where it's like you're just focusing on trying to get it over. You're not focusing on placing the ball, which is then not good because then your opponent is controlling the point and you're not controlling the point. You're on the defensive end, just getting ran all over the court. And so uh that was
Would
frustrating.
you say, thinking about that now, how you're like, I was looking at the place where I wanted to hit it instead of watching the ball, switching gears now when you're in the zone? Think about other sports too. Like when you're in the zone in baseball, it's like all you see is the ball and it's coming in slow and then you have a good hit. Or basketball, all you're seeing is the back of the rim or whatever you look at. It could be the front of the rim.
Yeah.
I know you look at the net sometimes, which is weird, but it goes in. But whatever you look at, uh, like tennis or like you play football. I'm not quarterback football, but it's like things slow down. You're focusing on one minute thing, and then it just like seems to be clicking. You're more in the moment, and then do you feel like in tennis it's easy to get ahead of yourself, think about even just 1 point ahead, you're up 40, 15, you're thinking about closing out the game, going to the next game, but it's like you literally have to be focused on that current hit, and that is the hardest thing, to be present in that moment, especially when there's time in between. You're trying to handle your emotions in between points.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, kind of rambled there. But do you feel like things slow down for you in tennis, and you see the ball better when you are like
Yeah,
playing
you're
well at
just
the
really
net?
watching the ball go all the way to your racket,
Yeah.
and you're just looking at the ball like where I was like looking to where he was and not the ball, or and then like my net play, I was watching the ball, but I look up at the last second, which I knew
Mm-hmm.
I was doing. Sometimes you get into bad habits. So when you get in that bad habit, you're just doing it all the time, but you can't think about fixing it sometimes during the match because then that messes you up more. You just have to play.
Yeah.
Like to try to fix it is in practice. It's like, well, you don't have time to practice. You're playing this match right now. So it's hard. And I don't know. I just felt like I just wasn't like, in a basketball, like you could go like shooting 12 for 20 or 12 for 18. You're on fire. And then the next game you shoot 7 for 21. And it's not like you're like, am I even trying? But you are, but you don't feel it. You got to have that feel of like you're just in the zone, you're so focused. And sometimes I was focused and I'd win a point or win a game, but I couldn't stay in the zone for the whole match.
Mm-hmm.
And it just wasn't um what was meant for me to happen. And then the second match, which I freaking hate when this happens, the guy didn't even show. So I won by default, which was bull because they forgot. And I was like, how do you forget? It says on the thing that you're guaranteed two matches. Freaking show up.
Yeah.
So then I went on to the next round in the losers bracket. So like the semifinals of the losers bracket. And I won that match. I won that match 8-3. So here's the thing too. And I know that this is gonna happen because you just want to win and you're competitive. And I blame part of it on our parents because they're also competitive and we're a lot like them. And it's like, why can't I just not care like these other people? Like, what the heck? And like you and I, like that's not like in our blood. Like we want to win, and so it's not like, and we're not sore losers either. But like, well, at least to other people, maybe to ourselves. But I want to win. I was up 6-0, and then the guy won 3 games in a row. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I'm about to blow this. Like, I thought about it for a second. Like, but in the back, like, dad thought I was about to blow it, which I could see that because like it does creep through my mind. But then, like, and I was kind of thinking about that, like, oh, what if, you know, what's dad gonna say if I blow this? Or like, what's so and so? And it's like, don't think about that. But the guy was like, I was more consistent. So also in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, I might win this pretty ugly at the end, but I know that I'm more consistent and that I'm gonna win this match. It just depends, am I gonna win it like smoothly or am I gonna start playing ugly, which is like you're not playing your best, but you play good enough to win because you have practiced enough that you can consistently keep the ball in more than the other guy. And that's just honestly 3-0 sometimes. Just trying to keep the ball in more than the other guy. And I end up winning the next 2 games and won 8-3. So the first 6 games, man, I was feeling it. I was in the zone. I was doing great. And then the last 5, Yeah, that would have been right. 5 games, I was struggling mentally because I wanted to win. I hadn't won a match all tournament. Because along with that, I also played doubles, which I'll get into doubles in a second. But I was thinking about winning too much, which I knew would happen, and I knew I would get tight because that's just a tennis match. You got the momentum up and down. People hit good shots, then they win a game. Then you're like, oh crap, they won a game. What am I gonna do? And then you have to like refocus. One thing I try to do, which I probably didn't do enough of, is like before I hit the ball, you gotta imagine like yourself hitting the ball well. So what I try to do is like think of like a professional, like Roger Federer or Carlos Alcaraz, and like I can see them like you're watching TV in your mind how they hit the ball, and you focus on yourself hitting the ball like that. And there have
Dude,
been
it's just funny because you don't even serve overhand.
I don't think about that on serving. I'll get to serving in
Oh,
a second. That's when I hit like a forehand or a backhand. So I
nice.
think like that, and I think of that and all that stuff. And sometimes I do it really well. Like even in matches I've lost. I played a match in Virginia in January, which I lost, but I played like really well. And the person next to me, the person I played, she just was way better than me. But I came back. And so I was imagining like how I wanted to hit the ball. I was literally watching the ball from her racket to my racket and really focusing on the ball. And I just wasn't doing it that much this tournament. And I just couldn't get into the flow of it. And even like the one I won, like I was focused the first 6 games, but then I got unfocused the last 5, and I should have stayed more focused. I did work on deep breathing, which helps a lot, especially when you serve. You just kind of let it out and then serve. And then when I serve, if I want to like, I basically just have to picture like how do you want it, where you want it, hit it here, hit it there. You just focus on like even like the tiniest string on a racket, because if you cut it, I serve underhand, so you want to hear that cut, like how it cuts through, and you want to hit on like certain part of the racket. Like I try to hit like a little above the neck of the racket, so the neck is where you hold the racket, and then you slice it. But then I think about like the spin, how I wanted to spin. And I don't think about tennis. I don't think about anybody serving because no one serves underhand. I think about pitching. You think about like curveballs, fastballs, forkballs, circle change, four seam, two seam.
You're just throwing these out on the tennis court with your racket.
Yeah, it's like how I hold the ball. I want to hold the ball like this. I wanted to spin like that. I wanted to curve like a curveball. I wanted to sit like a changeup or something, like just something like that. And I don't know. I don't do exactly like the ball doesn't do exactly what it would do if a pitcher would throw it, but that's what I like imagine. And then because you think about the baseball pitchers that can't throw heat, but they just throw junk, and the object is to get them out. My object is to get the ball in, and maybe they'll mess up. That's the object. I don't have to like, ace them every time.
Mhm.
So that's like what I think about when I serve. And when I play doubles with my doubles partner, David Clark, who listens to our podcast, by the way, you wanted me to give him a shout out.
Nice.
So uh when I played doubles with David, with the first match, we like got killed. We lost like 6-0, 6-1, or the other way around. Either way, we got killed. We had never played doubles before together. We always just play singles. So the first match when you play doubles with someone you've never played with before, you're just trying to figure it out. Like, what's your strength? What's my strength? He had never played with a lefty before. So it's like, okay, I'm a lefty, so I can hit good. Over here on the deuce side is my forehand side at the net and backhand side at the doubles alley. So what do we want? So then the second match we played better. We lost in the third set tiebreaker. We lost 6-0 the first set, won 6-2 the second set, and then lost the tiebreaker 10-4. But what I did good in that match was the set we won, I served pretty good for the most part. I was really focused on just really cutting through my slice serve and putting it where I wanted, looking at like our opponent's weaknesses and everything. And so just really focusing on the little details. And then doubles, like I don't play doubles that much, honestly, at all in the summer. So it's like dad told me like, yeah, you're just not like comfortable with doubles, it seems. Like you don't play that much. And I was like, yeah, it's just a different game because you basically have to play the net 50% or more of the time.
Yeah.
And the net's not my game. Or sometimes it can be. I'll be on fire at the net And this tournament, like I said, I just didn't have it. And like doubles was also like we wanted to win, but it was kind of more for fun too, like just a way to get extra matches in. And the big thing I really was struggling on with this year, which is weird because I it happens every year, was the fatigue of the matches. The opponents were harder. I remember my first match. Uh, I was playing, and I was just sucking gas at the end. I was on my like holding my knees at the end, like I just could not keep up with my opponent. And so, yeah, I mean, I was just really struggling like with the fatigue of it, trying to fight through the soreness and the pain. Because then I made it to the finals of the losers bracket, and I just got killed. Like I had to play back to back. I played at 10, and when you get to the losers bracket, oh, let me back up. When you get to the losers bracket to make the tournament go faster, you play an 8 game pro set. So that's like what they play in high school. So you
Mm.
play the first one to 8 games, and that's it. You got to win by two. And so I won the first one 8-3, like I said, and then I lost like 8-0 the next match. I like had nothing left. It felt like you ever been out there on tennis or basketball court and you're just like, am I even trying? Like what's happening? Like I can't do anything. And I was just running all over. The guy was like this older dude, but like he was put backspin on the ball. So it's basically like you slice it every time. And I was struggling with that. And I probably could have like beat him. I would have just thought about like, okay, well, I need to drop shot more. I need to do like make him run here, and I didn't make him run at all. I could have made this guy run and beat him, but I just didn't do it. And I think like physically, mentally, I was like just done. I like had nothing left, and I just wasn't playing good the whole tournament. And so it is what it is. It was tougher competition, like deep down. So I'm like sitting there like waiting for David watching me play, my doubles partner, and then my parents watched us, so I'm waiting for them to come. I'm like thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, this sucks, but like also I kind of love it. It's really hard, and I loved playing special league tennis, but it got to the point where like there was not many people at my level to play, so it got really boring because you would just kind of beat people, and I wanted a new challenge, and
Hmm.
so this is like really fun. Like it's really hard. Like I can beat the guys I played, and uh, I know I can do it, but it's like gonna be a lot harder. It's not like I'm just gonna kill these guys.
Yeah.
If I do, it'd be like I played amazing. And I looked at like the bright side of like, well, I did really bad in this tournament, but I'm really doing really good in my league for the first time. I have a winning record in my league, and so I have that. So I can play with like people that don't have disabilities. But tournaments are supposed to be harder. The league isn't. The tournament should not be as easy as your league. It's a tournament. It's
Hmm.
supposed to be way harder. So
More
it's
on the
just
line.
yeah. And like I also probably maybe didn't play as well because it felt like I knew it was a tournament and I wanted to win the tournament.
Hmm.
So like maybe like that was a thing, which in hindsight, if you really think about it, it's more like, dude, like no one's gonna give a shit if you win this tournament but you. But I mean I'm competitive and I want to win.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I mean, like in big picture, no one cares. Unless you play in the open era, which is like the really good people play D1 tennis or they're real like super high up. But besides that, it's like no one's gonna care about 3-0 or 3-5 tennis because we all kind of are mediocre and suck. But we all just love to play. So,
Yeah.
but it's good practice. I was glad I played. I'll play next year, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So,
Yeah. I mean, kind of get into pointing out some of the skills and characteristics of like what it takes to be just mentally tough to improve in tennis. Because there are guys who will stay at the 3-0, 3-5 level, and they're cool with that. That's where they want to stay. They like playing for fun, stuff like that. But if you want to like get better and improve your game, improve in skill level, which is what you're doing, you like you said, it's you kind of got out of your local. Like there are a couple of people here and there that you're back and forth with in Special Olympics, but you needed that new challenge to up your game. Um, and then you go to like Special Olympic tournaments that you have people that are better than you and challenging your skill set. Um, and man, that experience tournament, like when I talk about these characteristics of like mental strength, that's like everybody at that experience tournament, which is super cool. That's why that
Yeah.
tournament is awesome because when you have a disability, you're not just overcoming the obstacles of everyday people. You have medical conditions that become
Mhm.
obstacles. You have daily life functions that are obstacles. Some people with disabilities have like social obstacles that they have to overcome. So like for me, I think that's really cool to see like those you guys as athletes like put on these characteristics, and it like teaches me even like especially the discipline part. Like you got to be disciplined with improving your skill set.
Yeah.
Um, but in the past we've talked about the 4-to-1 mindset, and there's like the 5 characteristics I believe create a mentally tough person or athlete. You can apply them to anything, but the first one is like confidence, and like I feel like your confidence in your game is very high. Like when you're playing really good, and when you just don't have it that day. Happens in sports, but it comes from that preparation and the hours you put in. And you got to prep for the game, play the game, learn from the successes, learn from the failures, and then you got to like put into action of learning from what you came back. Like you said, you got to work on your deep breathing. You got to work on your net play. You got to work on uh, almost like thinking less, like not putting so much pressure on yourself.
Mhm.
And that's like kind of feeds into the next one, which is resilience of like bouncing back quick, being able to bounce back from a bad game in tennis, which is extremely hard to do.
Yeah.
Like switching momentum in tennis is insanely hard, especially when you watch the pros. Like when they play best 2 out of 3, it's like that first set goes to a tiebreaker, and whoever wins that tiebreaker then wins like the next one 6-0 or 6-1.
Mhm.
Or like you said, like um, you know, you lost your first one 3-8, and then it was like 8-1 or 8-0. It's like once that person gets that momentum going, it's really hard to like stop it. But vice versa, if you bounce back quick enough, you can come back, which we've talked about on this podcast many times. Of you losing the first set, switching the momentum, winning the second set, and then bringing it all the way to tiebreaker. So like, and especially tennis, you have to be resilient. And I believe resilience is your ability to bounce back quickly from adversity. You can't like sulk in adversity. You can't take too long to make a decision. You got to make a decision, roll with it, go to the next, which kind of leads back into that confidence. Even like, hey, learn from the failures, learn from the successes quickly, apply them, and then move on to the next. Especially like in tennis tournaments too. You got that next match, especially if you're playing in multiple divisions in
Yeah.
singles and doubles. And then, like discipline, I think is the third characteristic, where it's about knowing your job, know how to do your job, know when to do your job, and you got to do it to the best of your ability every time, which is the day to day. It's like leading up to this tournament, you've put in a lot of work, your strategy, your strengths. I feel like that is um, the hardest part for all of us, and everything is doing the hard things daily to the best of our ability, because we
Mhm.
want everything to be easy and simple, or we think simple is easy, but simple is actually hard.
Mhm.
But not keeping things would be the opposite of simple. Chaos, keeping things
Yeah.
chaos is even harder. Living in the
Yeah.
chaos is harder than keeping things simple. And sometimes you got to live in the chaos and learn how to adapt. But for sports or your goals, whatever they are, like for you, it's just like, hey, I got to go practice tennis. I got to keep doing these drills. I got to fine tune my skills so much so I can't get it wrong. Like with your serve, like your underhand serve, you basically are at a point where you like almost can't get it wrong, and you're just trying to perfect it and make it better, and things like that. And fourth characteristic is ambition. You talk about, what, might be 3-0, but I still want to win this tournament, not for
Yeah.
anybody else, not for, the trophy, but for the satisfaction of like knowing you did everything you did to get there and move up to the next level as well. And then the last one you talked about is like kind of like the insanity that we all have as competitors, especially if you're a tennis player, is like you love the growth, the learning process of like challenging yourself, playing new players, seeing how you compare against them,
Mhm.
getting your ass kicked. Getting your ass kicked is the worst, but it actually helps you the best with like improving. You're just like, wow, like I'm so weak in this area. This guy just attacked this weakness so hard. And you go back, work on it. And you have like so many comeback stories of like this person kicked your ass, and then the next year you come back, the next 2 years you come back and you beat them like in a tiebreaker or something, or you lose a tiebreaker, you come back beat them tiebreaker.
Yeah, or
So
like
I think that's what it takes to be a tennis player, is wanting that uncomfortableness of growth. And a phrase I used to use with kids in the weight room is you gotta get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's the only way you're gonna get better. It's the only way you're gonna get stronger. Only way you're gonna get faster. Only way you're gonna get stronger mentally. I like to think mental strength. You're improving mentally when, if you remember, like back in the day when the TV would like they wouldn't have a connection and it would just like I don't even know go like frictiony. It's like black and white specks.
yeah,
Like that's what your nervous system feels like. Feels like that staticiness, and you're like, I hate that feeling.
yeah. Like one thing I'll get to. Well, two things. One is you gotta think about like the good things you did, even if
Yeah.
you lost. That was a
Mhm.
bad thing we were bad at, like at teenage years in our 20s, was like we just looked at everything bad 'cause we lost. But it's like my doubles partner and I, we would me and David, we played really good in second match. We had some good shots. We just couldn't win at the end. But we had some shots that like we were just killing the ball.
Yeah.
And then the other part, like especially the singles, like it's hard to explain. Don't have a disability, but like the pace of just sports in general, when you don't play in Special Olympics, is way different. Even if you like play at a high level in Special Olympics, and then you go to a non-special tournament, whether basketball, tennis, whatever, like it's way different. And so you just trying to like adapt to all that and adjust to the speed of the game is tough, but once you get it down, it's pretty rewarding. I
Yeah.
also and you can feel it in your body when you're done playing. Like, oh, I just not the special Olympic tournaments. I felt like pretty exhausted and tired and broken down after, but when I play in like a non-special league tournament, like I feel worse. Like just off like that first match, I like the pace of the match and their points being so long, I was just dying at the end. Like I felt like my body just like could not hold up anymore. But I like
Yeah.
had to fight through it because like every tennis player, like you have to fight through all that fatigue because there's no
Mhm.
subs. So
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good place to end it. So if you're, especially if I feel like tennis is a great sport for ex athletes, especially if you thrive on the competition, because when you're out there on the court, the silence is like so intense. Like people are like, why don't people yell in tennis? Like, dude, because the silence literally it creates the intensity in
yeah,
your
it
body
does.
and your opponent's body. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you just feel it in the ball when you're ripping shots at each other.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Like you're just
so
like in the zone when you're ripping shots.
yeah,
And you know, I'll do a basketball thing here real quick for tennis, but it's kind of for any sport. But it was like Cooper Flag's mom or something. She said like she told Cooper Flag, if you're the best one in the gym, you gotta find a different gym. So it's just
yeah,
like any sport. Like if you're the best one on the court and the level you're at, you're just like destroying people, then move up a level or find a different group to play. So it's harder. That way, it's the only way you get better.
yeah.
So
Amen. Well, this is our second podcast, I believe, as Spalding's Courts, or the Spalding's Court, not courts, Spalding's Court. And we're advocating that tennis is the mentally hardest sport to play. If you disagree, you can comment why. Always up for debate. We're going to be talking more sports in this podcast, but we wanted to talk about Wyatt's journey in his tennis career. And join us next time. We'll be talking some basketball, some more tennis as the U.S. Open comes up, and maybe throwing a little MLB baseball just because I've been obsessing about that lately. So we'll see you guys next time on Spalding's Court Sports Podcast. See
see
ya.
ya.